second one from the bottom. Ki Eshmera Shabbat.
Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni. Oti le'or me'ar, beno uveni. Oti le'or me'ar, beno uveni. Last time, Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni. Oti le'or me'ar, beno uveni. Oti le'or me'ar, beno uveni.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So nice to be with you. I hope you all had a nice holiday and nice to see families together. So speaking of families together, we're going to invite Carl Harrop and his family, his son and daughter-in-law, but I don't remember your names because you said, because you know, but you're Carl. So come on up, page 2. Rachel, someone's Rachel. Yeah. Just light the candles first. So start with the back one so you don't get burned.
All three. I usually just do 2.
Oh yeah, we're only doing extra. We're doing an extra one for the people in Israel who can't light candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu v'tzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Do you mind if I light the last one? No. Okay. Maybe when all the hostages come back, we won't light 3. We continue on page 16, Kabbalat Shabbat. We're going to continue with Zamru Ladonai. Comes from Psalm 98, top of page 16.
Zamru Ladonai bechinor, bechinor v'kol zimra, v'chatzotzrot v'kol shofar. Hari ufnei hamelech Adonai, yiram hayam omlo, tevel v'yoshveiva. Neharod imcha uchav yachad, harim yeranenu, lifnei Adonai kivan, yishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel betzedek, ve'amim b'mesharim. Yeram hayam umlo, tevel ve'yoshveiva. Neharot yimcha uchav yachad, harim yeranenu.
On page 19, from the end of Psalm 29, Adonai Oz le'amo yitain. God will give strength to our people and bless us with peace.
Adonai Oz, le'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai Oz, le'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo. Shalom.
Turn now to Shalom Aleichem on page 24, and we welcome in the Shabbat messengers of peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochenu Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochenu Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Turn back to page 20, L'chadodi. After welcoming the Shabbat with light, welcoming the Shabbat angels, we have an opportunity to welcome in the Shabbat presence with L'chadodi, singing together paragraphs 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to 9, we'll rise, turn towards the door, and welcome in the Shabbat presence.
L'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבוריך, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה. l'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת בכוונך, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. l'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. l'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שידברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. l'chadodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמונם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פן שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פן שבת לקבלה נסתני לקראת כלה פן שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פן שבת לקבלה.
Oh. So please,
Different ending.
I know, you're good.
Ended up here with a bit of a bang. No slow
You didn't tell me that in advance. We're, now that you're standing, and I'll bring my chance to laugh at me, please wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Maybe introduce yourself to someone that you haven't met or someone that you haven't seen. This is page 22, Psalm for Shabbat, Psalm 92. It starts with Tov lehodot. It is good to give thanks.
טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר שמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר שמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
We turn to page 26 for Chetzi Kaddish and separate Kabbalat Shabbat from the rest of the evening service.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, על מה דברה חירותיה וימליך מלכותיה, בחייכון ויומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה ברכו. לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, כל שבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
Please rise as you're able for Baruch Hu, page 28. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma potech sha'arim, uvitvuna meshana itim, umachalif atazmanim, umisader atakochavim, b'mishrotehem barakir kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
מעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
On page 32, we read together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we'll meditate on your laws and your commandments. We'll rejoice in your Torah forever. Sorry.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, והם נהגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
You may be seated. We continue on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Mi Chamocha is on page 40. I have a lot of thoughts about freedom, given that yesterday was Thanksgiving, and for many of us that's an opportunity to really express our gratitude for having family together from all the places, and for having enough to eat, and for having an ability, our living as Americans to practice our religion. We have so much to be grateful for. Of course, it's not just so simple, right? There's a lot of other layers that are attached to that freedom, and if we're being honest, then we need to look at those and to think about what all of that means. And I'm thinking about that for us as Americans, what that means to be free in this country, and of course for all those others throughout the world who I used to always teach that we'll be free when everyone in the world is free. I don't guess I change that, but we're aware on this Shabbat of so many who are free, and then those who are not yet free. And so we hold that in our hearts and our minds, and we sing together Mi Chamocha on page 40.
חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Join together in the English at the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
On page 253 is Misha Berach. sing in the middle of the page. We sing the first paragraph, in which we have an opportunity to ask for courage. What do we need right now at this moment to make our lives a blessing? And we'll stop and share the names of the members of our community, our family, our friends who are in need of healing, because that next paragraph is asking for refuah shlema, the renewal of body and the renewal of spirit. To all those we name, I'll ask you if you have some names to add to the list, and then we remember that there's so many others whose names we don't know, and we hold them in our hearts as much as we can. So we sing together the first paragraph on top of page, the first paragraph in the middle of page 253. For healing, Mary Ann Aronson, Julie Arnheim, Peggy Boone, Alex Botkin, Hinda Sarabat Chana Pearl, Jerry Chesson, Sarabat Chana, Rabbi Zion David, Arnold Davis, Barbara Davis, Joanne Mandel DeWitt, Melissa Fisher, Kate Can, Naum Kaplan, Al Camper, Audrey Lazar, Tony Linder, Sally Littman, Susan Lothar, Laura Marshak, Agnes McCulley, Hal Mendlowitz, Yermatia Shulamit Bat Miriam Vabaruch, B.G. Morrison, Roberta Needleman, Ellen Newberg, Stefan Patterson, Lev Podorovsky, Susan Rosen, Charles Rosenblum, Oliver Scheibel, Steve Schimmel, Benjamin F. Siegel, Myron Sherman, Toby Shimkin, Bill Stein, David Wallach, Jonathan Wind, Ralph Wise, and Kayla Wright. Are there any other names for Misha Barach tonight for healing?
Jan Yanko, Michelle Warner.
Sing together the second paragraph of Misha Barach.
Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us sing Amen.
Turn back to page 44 and join together in Vashamro. As we turn to the tefillah, which begins on page 46 with an opening meditation, we'll do that together, but then we're going to do the tefillah silently on our own. So a couple things about this. One is that you can stand up or sit down. It's your choice. You can split the difference. You can read what's on the right side of the page, which is the traditional prayers. You could read the left side of the page. You could follow the direction of your own hearts. But I just want to point out two things. One is on page 50 in the Gevurot. If there's a line and there's a phrase in there, matir asurim, which means to free captives. And so we are aware on the Shabbat of hostage Israelis who are still not home. And so we've been thinking about them for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I guess it is by now. But I also wanted to put your attention to the prayer of gratitude, which Cantor Glaser is going to talk about in depth in the sermon time, but just to remember that we had 22 freed hostages today, and so our hearts are full of gratitude for them. And so when we get to the prayer of gratitude on page 58, maybe to keep that in mind as well as whatever else that you're grateful for. So please rise as we join together in the first meditation on page 46, and we'll be going through page 62.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This Shabbat, since it is Thanksgiving weekend, we wanted to look a little bit at the liturgy of Thanksgiving in Judaism. Hoda'ah, Thanksgiving, is a huge part of Jewish prayer practice. And as Rabbi Henry mentioned, we have our Modim, right? That's our second last blessing of the Amidah. So if you're a traditional Jewish person, you're going to be praying that 3 times a day in your Amidah. So the Modim prayer, it's about giving thanks, it's about gratitude for our lives and obviously for this beautiful world that we have in front of us. But as Rabbi Henry mentioned, there are some times when that Thanksgiving might not be complete, right? We think of those hostages who've gained their freedom. We think of those still trapped. We think of those still under bombardment in Gaza and pray that the civilians in Gaza remain safe. So sometimes our prayer needs to reflect that. So I wanted to start with this Modim prayer. It's on page 58 in your Siddurim if you'd like to follow the text, but there's not going to be a test. You can just sit and listen if you prefer. This setting is by Aminadav Aloni. He was a Los Angeles composer, formerly from Israel, and wrote a lot for film, so he has kind of a very lush LA film sound, but this is certainly one of his more somber settings. So this is kind of, I guess it's a more reflective and serious setting of the Modim that perhaps fits this moment, that we are giving thanks, but we're also hoping for the safety to come of those still trapped. And this is Modim by Aminadav Aloni. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, Shatahu Elohei Avotenu leolam va'ad. Modim anachnu lach, Tzur chayenu magen ishenu, Tzur chayenu magen ishenu, Atahu, Atahu ledor vador, Atahu, Atahu ledor vador. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, Shatahu Elohei Avotenu leolam Aminadav Aloni's setting of Modim. The next setting is much more cheerful, right? This is probably, kind of hopefully the vibe that we have at our Thanksgiving table. This is a joyful piece. It's a little more kind of Disney. It's by a cantor named Jonathan Commissar, based in New York, and a professor of mine. And this is, a really joyful celebration of our Thanksgiving prayer. So this is Jonathan Commissar's Modim Anachnu Lach. אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו לעולם ועד. מודים אנחנו לך צור חיינו מגן ישנו אתה הוא לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד. For the sun that rises in the east, for the sea that roars a prayer, for the stillness of a snowflake, for the breath of autumn air, for the grasp within my fingers, for a mind that makes me whole, for the voice of God has given me to speak the truth within my soul. מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד. ועל ניסך שבכל יום עמנו, שבכל יום עמנו. ועל דעותיך וטובותיך ערב ובוקר בצהריים. For the laughter of the children, for the way they greet the day, with their endless stream of questions, they remind us how to play. And for the ones we call beloved, who take away our fear, they tell us without saying it, remember I am here, remember I am here. מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד. צור חיינו מגן ישנו אתה הוא לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד. Beautiful setting by Cantor Jonathan Commissar. So two very different settings of our Modim prayer, that second last blessing of the Amidah. We're going to finish with another blessing of thanksgiving. This is our Hodu Ladonai, which is actually taken from our Hallel service, right? So our psalms of praise that we sing at our festivals and during Hanukkah. So probably coming up, we're going to do some Hallel. This is from Psalm 118, verses 28 and 29. One of the funny quirks, this is sort of a sermon for another day, but One of the funny quirks about the word hodu in Hebrew is that it does mean giving thanks, and it also means turkey. So for it's Hebrew teachers' favorite thing to say around Thanksgiving. That and that's a sermon for another day. We can explain why that's the case, but it has something to do with the fact that Hodu is also the country India, and they thought that these birds were coming from India, even though they were actually coming from the New World, from the U.S. Sorry, from North America, so we have this fun linguistic connection between giving thanks and eating turkey that we should celebrate with. Hodu Ladonai, I don't have, this is not in your Siddurim, unfortunately, but this is by Deborah Sachs-Mintz, a rabbi based in New York, fantastic composer and prayer leader. Eliata ve'odeka Elohai arom mecha Eliata ve'odeka Elohai arom mecha Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto chasto Whoa, whoa, ay, 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 whoa, 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 ay, ay, Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto chasto Eliata ve'odeka Elohai arom mecha Eliata ve'odeka Elohai arom mecha Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto 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 Hodu l'Adonai, turkey to God, thanks to God, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you to Cantor Glaser.
You
Great.
like that one?
Page 282, please rise as you're able for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Please remain standing as you're able. Kaddish is on page 294. We think of our loved ones whom death has taken, who have died recently within the last month. Robert W. Bob Mandel, M. Charles Chuck Richblum, Marilyn Rhodes, Arlene Roberts, as well as those who died at this season in years past, whose yahrzeit we observe on this Shabbat. Francis Beckerman, Frank Carl, Tina Corkulis, Betty Brauman Dinkin, Barbara Green, Evelyn Greenberg, Meyer Grossman, Kate Faber Hammerstein, Dr. Lee Hershenson, Hannah Klein, Esther Lehman, Margaret Koppelman Lebovitz, Robert McQuiston, Eleanor Mermelstein, Herman M. Pickus, Ruth Rosen Hartz, Charles Rutenberg, Rose Sadler, Carolyn Schreiber, Frida Scheffler, Ida Shepman, Arnold B. Silverman, and Dr. Emil Trellis. Are there any other names for Kaddish tonight?
Lester Block.
My Uncle Herbert Shapiro, who passed at 100 on Sunday.
Ruth Freeman.
Zichronam Livrachal, may all their memories be for blessing. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrachu te v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'galau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Ehei Shmei Rabbah mavarach le'olam olmei almaya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasa, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei d'kudashah b'irchu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya seh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. If you're interested in hosting an online Hanukkah candlelighting, please be in touch with Paige from our office. We're just assigning nights that, if you could be in your own house and just have your Zoom camera on, light Shabbat, Hanukkah candles, and it'll be a way for us to meet virtually over Hanukkah. We are back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We want to express our gratitude, our thanks to Luke in the back there for helping make us be seen and heard. As always, not only on Thanksgiving, I have so much gratitude for my colleagues, for Don McGahan, our music director. This morning I called you something else, I don't know. We had a Boy Scout. It was nice, but it wasn't music director. It was something like, what did I call you, the music person or something? I don't know. It was early, and the Boy Scouts were here. And our a wonderful cantor, Toby Glaser. It's just such a privilege for me to work together with them and to be here with you. We will conclude our service with Kiddush and Motzi. Kiddush is on page 5. And then we'll conclude with Od Yavo, Shalom Aleinu, and I'll give you the page when we get to there. But as I always say, there's still a chance, Od Yavo, it's still possible for there to be peace. First on page, do we have Kiddush?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking for it back there. Oh, God, this is bad.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'vratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekayim
and l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Page 353, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.